All right. What did we just see there? What we just saw was Le Grand Bleu. And let's see, get some of that music back in there. It's gonna be so loud. Yeah. So this is more than a restaurant. This is the beginning of a journey at the station Gare de Lyon in Paris. And on these ceilings and walls of Le Grand Bleu are the destinations where people would, they'd come to this restaurant. This is where movie stars came. Some of those famous people in the world, if they wanted to get to the south of France, the French Riviera, to a Côte d'Azur, they didn't take a plane because planes weren't that cool, right? You just had propellers and blah, 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 blah. So you take this luxurious, awesome train to the south of France. And so on these walls are they depict the Marseille, Nice, the French Riviera. And I've been to this restaurant like, I don't know, a bunch of times, and I don't know the actual artists or the actual, I have to do research to pin down actually what's being displayed on each panel or tableau. But what I want to talk about is the future of hospitality and the future of high speed rail and how that integrates into what we want to talk about. Let's give ourselves some hand claps right here. All right. So here, let's go up. Let's put this in. Let's go up one. All right. So this is kind of a metaphor for today, right? This represents the Ukrainian war and the whole COVID thing that we went through and all the tension and death and pandemic, right? It's like been a horrible couple of years, good 5 years that we've been in this sort of state of hyper turmoil. And everybody's done. I don't know about you, but I'm done of the drama. I'm done with the hysteria. And Europe is now going to be changing forever, because what this picture tells us is this whole represents the $500 billion that the European Union, along with America, sort of funneled to Ukraine in arms and in cash. And it looks like Russia's has won the war, is going to get everything that it wants in terms of territory, and that whole thing is over. But so what does the new Europe look like? What does the new Europe look like? And I am arguing that the new Europe is going to be defined by the $50 billion that Paris has put into the Le Grand Paris Express. So they're creating this new massive civics works project, the biggest since the Haussmann renovations, and and the biggest in Europe to date, right, at the current date. And they're going to be connecting all the airports, so you're going to get to La Defense in like 11 minutes from Le Bourget or from Orly, all right? I think like 90 minutes from Charles de Gaulle. So Paris is positioning itself as the new sort of Wall Street of Europe, or the new capital of Europe. And this high-speed connection is supposed to be connected like last year, but they're running on delays, and so it's going to be connected next year. All right? So the hotel chain that understands this is the one that is going, the hospitality companies that understand it are the ones that are going to come on top. All right? Because this is the deal. When traveling becomes cinema, it's a new era of hospitality, right? Oh, I've gotta put my other quote in there. You know how emotional travel states will shape the next decade. A strategic point of view on the conversions of travel, storytelling, and the human experience. And I lived this human experience for, I don't know, close to 10 years. I went back and forth pretty much close to once a month to see my daughter. Well, she was 5 years old 10 years ago. She's 15 years old now. And so I did that religiously, and I fell in love with European high-speed rail travel. There's nothing like it in the world. And so what I'm showing here is how I used to feel. Okay, let's see. Oops. Yeah, there we go. I want to go back. All right. So when I would come off the metro, right? So the metro connects to Montparnasse. There was this lovely smell of butter and croissants and coffee that was always gave me this anticipation, and I was preparing myself as I came from the metro and made that connection underground, right? And so there's this long walkway, and I would just wait for that smell, and it was always a comforting feeling because I knew that I'd be seeing my little girl, the next day. And so I'm going to take that magic, right, and sort of bring it to a presentation pitch deck level. And this has the capability to transform the way the hospitality industry sees train travel. Because across hotel brands, true differentiation is emotional. It's not architectural. It's not the hotel, right? What you got a bed, you got a room, you got little treats, right? When the people come in, you got a pool, right? If you try to brand the experience on the hotel room and the property itself, you're missing an entire world of possibilities. Guests don't remember the square footage. They remember how they felt when they arrive. Hospitality's competitive frontier is the emotional arc, not the physical product, right? We're all sick of the security theater, right? Taking off your shoes and your belt and the whole thing, and people asking you, did you pack your bags yourself? No, my cat packed my bag. You know what? You find any hairballs, Did you, are you carrying any liquids? Well, I kind of gotta go to the bathroom. Does that count? We're all sick of that. We're all sick of that. And so with train travel, you have none of that goofiness, that, security theater that I'm just so tired of, I tell you. Travel begins long before arrival. The emotional tone of the stay is set before the guest ever reaches the hotel. Airports equal exhaustion. Airports equal exhaustion. You say, okay, well, this train ride is going to take 6 hours or 7 hours or whatever it is. You spend those 7 hours, but they're not easy hours. They're easy hours waiting in line, getting there early in case you miss the flight. It's like, going through security, hailing a taxi, looking for your bags. Oh, my bag is, they lost my bag. And so, right? There's anxiety, there's exhaustion, and even if you spend 4 hours instead of 7 hours or 5 hours, because it used to take me 7 hours to get from Paris to see my daughter in the south of France. And the flight would be an hour and a half, but it wasn't an easy hour and a half. And so, where were we? Yes. The emotional tone of a stay is set before the guest ever reaches the hotel. Airports equal exhaustion. Rail corridors, they offer anticipation. You're just sitting there with your croissant and your coffee, and you're just looking to see what gate, right? You're just looking to see what gate you're going to board at. And you don't have to go through the concourse and the security. You're just having a croissant. Oh, I'm at gate 4. And if you, like I do so many times, I would know the gate before the gate came. But then you hustle over, and if you want to be first in line to board, then you go quickly, and if not, you just want to let everybody board. You got good 15, 20 minutes before the train leaves. Let the crowd go, ahead of you. It's just so much more relaxed, so much more cool. And so mobility corridors equal emotional clarity. You have a corridor, right, of mobility that is clean and consistent. You're coming from either a taxi or the metro or another train or something. You're on the ground. You got your bags. You don't have to let go of your bag. You don't have to let go of your computer. You don't have to put your computer through the freaking x-ray. You don't have to put your camera. You don't have to undress or anything like that. That's a mobility corridor. That's a corridor that's consistent and predictable, and there is zero friction. All right? And so brands that design for the pre-arrival state will win loyalty. So brands that know, okay, you're taking the train, you're Hilton, Hyatt, Marriott, IHG, whatever, and then you've got this package set up, all right? Well, what's happening is you have the opportunity to create a cinematic adventure, right? They're going to be on this adventure where they end up at a hotel chain at one destination and then the same hotel chain at the other destination. And there could be awards, discounts, reservations, and all kinds of cool things on the way. And so you create this arc in which the customer becomes a movie star, the trip becomes the movie, and then the hospitality chain becomes the set, the director, the one that's making it all happen, like the executive producer. All right? And if you look at the hospitality industry like that, the whole thing changes. The whole marketing plan and strategy change. Okay, so mobility is hospitality's hidden opportunity. 3 words, the Grand Paris Express, the Grand Paris Express, all right? This is the future. I've been talking about this since 2015, and everywhere you have them making all these new stations around the periphery, around the perimeter of Paris. And each new station is like a little geyser of humanity, and all this business and housing and all the magical things happening whenever you have a bunch of people coming in and out of one door or one port or one place, and so Paris is sort of set the stage 100 years ago and is continuing on that same mobility corridor motif. And high-speed corridors create predictable, calm arrival states. Global expansion of high-speed rail from Europe to Asia resets expectations for hospitality. The emotional arrival moment becomes more important than check-in. Why is that? Why does the emotional arrival moment is more important than check-in? Because you get off the train and within 3 minutes, right? You grab your bag, you walk off the train, and you're in Centreville paradise, wherever it is. Luxembourg, Brussels, Berlin, Barcelona, Côte d'Azur, Fréjus, Cannes, Nice. You get your train off the back and you are Centreville, in the center of the city. Restaurants, people, culture, activity. You don't even have to go to the hotel. You just sit down, have some dinner, maybe have a glass of wine, a cup of coffee, cup of tea, and then take your bags off to your hotel. And then you're rested, you feel fresh, then you can immerse yourself in the city, have a great dinner, see a great show. You're not fatigued from the theater, the security theater, and all of the drama that we have to deal with, at the airport. So every major hotel brand will need a mobility strategy, not just a loyalty strategy. How are you going to help facilitate, right, this growing high-speed rail convenience? How are you going to promote it, market it? What's your strategy, right? If you don't have one, you're going to be left behind, right? New luxury, ease. It's ease, not excess. Guest wants intuitive, restorative, frictionless experiences. Stress reduction is the new currency of premium travel. Luxury is not opulence. Luxury is emotional regulation. Today, the poorest person in America has got a toilet, has got electricity, has got a TV, can all order Chinese food. Louis XVI, Henry VIII, all the great kings and queens of Europe didn't have that luxury. They couldn't take a hot bath when they wanted to. So we are living in such a state of luxury already that how much comfortable are we gonna get, right? So it's not about the luxury; it's about reducing the emotional stress of traveling, and high-speed rail does that to a T. So your mobility corridors are cinema. We just talked about this. Every major route carries its own narrative arc. Paris to Cannes is like a glamour pilgrimage. Tokyo to Kyoto, heritage, minimalism. New York to D.C, ambition, power. Seoul to Busan, movement, modern energy. London to Paris, romance, espionage. James Bond. From Paris with Love with John Travolta. Hospitality brands sit at the endpoints of these stories. They inherit the emotional momentum of the journey. All right, did you hear what I'm saying? Hospitality brands sit at the endpoints of these stories. They inherit the emotional momentum of the journey without any more material investment, right? So you're not buying more stuff or uh, creating more events or doing more things. You're just being there. You're just this is the studio in which you're going to have your cinematic experience, in which you get to be the stars. You're just, I mean, you've got the physical property already. You just have to create the storytelling so people start to see themselves in these roles. So it's just a matter of narrative adjustment. So Paris invented the mobility corridor. Long before the TGV or the Grand Prix Express, Paris created the original mobility experience. We talked about Gare de Lyon, Le Tram Bleu. Paris proved that travel isn't logistics, it's emotion, anticipation, and transformation. And so this is where field marketing becomes the front line, right? Field marketing translates into mobility shifts, translates into revenue. Cultural corridors equal brand moments. Guest emotion, that's the loyalty strategy. So what exactly am I talking about? I want to show you right here. Okay, so that's Le Trembleu. All right, so right here, here's your movie sets. Paris to Bordeaux, Paris to Marseille, Paris to Lille. All these are you come into the city center that has a unique vibe. It's a unique thing, but it gets even better. So here's all of the oh, for gosh sakes. Okay, Paris to Nice, Paris to Marseille, trains to Brussels, to Antwerp, Liège, to Cologne, Dusseldorf, Frankfurt, right? Trains to Amsterdam. So this is a personal to Cologne, Rotterdam, London, Berlin, Munich, Paris to Berlin. Each one of those is a cinematic experience that can be hosted by the hotel chain or the hospitality brand that has the insight to know how powerful this is. To go from thinking about the destination as the primary thing and thinking about the journey. The destination is just supporting this cinematic movie star frictionless experience that can be promoted from within with strategic partners as far as restaurants and third party vendors are concerned. And where was it? Okay, here we go. Yes. And so every major change needs a hyper-localized narrative strategy, not just content. So if I go to Cologne, what's it gonna feel like? What's it gonna look like? Where are the restaurants and the museums in relation to the hotel and to the train station? You know, how far is the train station from the hotel? What happens? I get off of Cologne. Wow, is there a reservation waiting for me? Or maybe I'm just gonna. Can I just drop my bags off at the desk and run to the show? You know, what kind of cool stuff can you make happen to make that journey as frictionless and emotionally available as possible? And so right here we can see, right? Oh, is this? A little bit more of this picture. Anyways, yeah, you get off the train, you're sipping a little wine or I used to café orange, s'il vous plaît. So whatever, you know, you're right there at the center city, and so this is a great AIs. So I said, man, I wanna show how cool it is. The bar car. They tried AI tried its best. Okay, so for me, right? Why this point of view matters. What's my value proposition? I've traveled thousands and thousands of miles this way, man. I am an expert at traveling like this, and I understand, right? It's a rare understanding of this mobility psychology, how important it is to be stress-free. Because seeing my daughter, and having friction with the mother, it was stressful. But that train ride I was just so happy to be in anticipation to seeing my little girl again, and so that it gave me time to reflect. And if I had problems with the mother or whatever on the way back, it was, it gave me time to calm down. And so I also bring this ability to tell the story through a digital medium like I'm doing right now. And I use AI a lot, especially for research. I like to use the comment browser and Perplexity. It really gives me a super agnostic. Some of these AI tools sort of tend towards one way or the other. And so like this presentation, I had the idea for it this morning, and it's about 2:30 in the afternoon, and I'm presenting it already. Ability, and I have the ability, right, to translate emotion into strategy, strategy into content, and content into revenue. All right, been there, done that. That's kind of like my wheelhouse. So that was the end of When Travel Becomes Hospitality. Let's give it up. All right, so I'm going to be making this presentation I've got the list. All right, I'm going to be reaching out, and what's the plan? You get on a plane, you get on a train, and you go. I'm in Chicago at the moment. I hope to be in Paris pretty soon. And so you just boom, what's up, where we going? Okay, you bring your camera, you take some pictures, you meet some people, you make some connections, and then you develop a little cinematic arc. What's the person, what's it gonna feel like, what's gonna look like? You have that all in your promotional kit. You have it for each city. You hit the social media the way we know how to do, and it could completely transform the way the hospitality industry is viewed in Europe. All right, this was fun. Thanks for watching, and if you're in the hospitality industry and you made it this long, give me a DM. Contact me at info@lyongaligas.com. There's my name. So it's info@thatname.com. All one word. All right. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Take care. Au revoir.